That SNL, that damn SNL. Eddie Murphy, boy, wasn't he funny? Was he? Was he really funny? No. I watched it because all the hype that was around it, but I didn't laugh. It just wasn't funny at all. He just had me staring at the screen like, when is the funny going to jump in? The Jeopardy wasn't funny. The Mr. Robinson wasn't funny. And when all of them came out on stage together, I was like, the funniest person that came out on stage was Tracy Morgan. Everybody else was unfunny. I didn't feel no um intense situation between those guys. The energy was okay, but nobody was funny. That's what we don't want to just see a bunch of com- big time comedians on stage not being funny. Dave Chappelle jokes didn't hit at all. I guess they did that for the white folks. I don't know who they did that for, but it wasn't for us because none of the jokes hit. Like the Jeopardy thing, that usually be kind of funny to me. Everybody else was doing their thing, but Eddie Murphy just kept saying how to do a hole, how to sell a hole, how to. I'm like, that whole thing just, it's not funny, Murphy. It's not. It wasn't funny then. It's not funny now. You can do it on your movies, but don't do it on a comedy skit. We trying to be. We don't need that type of comedy right there. Not being funny. I know you probably had a bunch of pressure on you, but and he was messing up on his lines. He just kept messing up. I'm like, Eddie, get it together, please. And then I looked down on the comment section. Everybody praising him, and I'm like, hold on, hold on. This got to be bots. I ain't. I didn't see hardly not one criticism, and I'm scrolling. I'm like, where are the criticism? Because I'm just looking for the jokes, the criticism, the trolling, the funny stuff. But it just seemed like a whole bunch of soccer moms praising Eddie Murphy, and that SNL skit was not funny at all, at all. I just don't get the joke. What was so funny about him being a pimp on Jeopardy? What was so funny about that? Him saying who at my screaming who at my door, being Mr. Robinson. Like, that's not funny. He didn't say nothing funny. Eddie, we want funny. The whole Raw routine. You try to sell that now, the only it's gonna only sell because of his name and his classicness. But people don't think that's funny. People don't think that's funny. You're not funny. Tell us about your life. We need to know about your upbringing. We need to know about your flaws, and but you don't talk about none of that. You just talk about made up stuff and get real loud. Say it in. He tried to. His type of comedy is for like babies in a sense, where you make a funny face and they laugh. Goo gaga. How you like? That's not funny. I need you to do more or less. In his case, less. Got me wasting my damn time trying to see what all this funny and all this praise is about, and it wasn't about nothing. It wasn't about anything. Because Eddie Murphy is not funny. He's the most overrated comedian out. He's very overrated. Speaking on comedians, Dave Chappelle showed up and he laid off a couple of jokes that didn't hit. I don't think Dave Chappelle is that funny. I think he could have did better on his last stand up. I think he could have did way better. He was close, but it just wasn't like he ain't he was trying to speak real, but it just wasn't it didn't have that meat on it. He didn't put it on the plate. He didn't put it on the plate. I know he was trying to call out the homosexuals and all that, but he didn't call them out. Call them out. He didn't call out the Michael Jackson accusers like he should have called them out. How I feel. And don't get it twisted. Dave Chappelle is in Hollywood all the way. He's so like everybody else. He ain't gonna say nothing that's gonna piss off the uppers. You're gonna keep with all this black white stuff that a lot of these woke uh celebrities stay on. They can talk about the black white stuff. They can talk about white killing black, doing all this race baiting. They can race bait all they want, but they can't talk about being together. They can't fight for that. They can't talk about unity. They can't talk about it and then do it. Because if you start doing it, if you start putting that unity into action and getting people around you, getting your fan base, getting your popularity, working, using your popularity for good, you can't do that. And a lot of these black comedians, if you go back and look at their stand up, they're really anti black. A lot of their stand up is anti black, stereotype. And I see a lot of black people nowadays acting like how they used to talk. Black folks don't like to do that. Then black people think we can't do certain things because everybody's saying we can't do certain things. Like in these stand ups, they was talking about black people like we was just scary and loud and this and that. And we was laughing at it. We laughed at it, but the joke was on us. We didn't know no better. You ain't gonna find a regular black guy on TV. You ain't gonna find him. You ain't gonna find no family show with a regular black guy with a family. Nowadays, you ain't gonna find that. You either gotta be a homosexual, he either gotta be a drug dealer, he either gotta be a basketball player or a football player. Those are the only things that's being drained in your brain as your options as an African American male in this society. It's being drained in your baby's brains. And we can do something about it. But we choose not to because we gotta go to work. Do those 14-hour days, 12-hour days, 8-hour days. Get home tired. Get home tired, you know. Trying to provide. But there's nobody responsible enough to go raise your kids. It takes a village to raise your child, but the foundation starts in the house. It starts in the home. His moral code starts in the home. If there's nobody throughout that day teaching him those moral codes, if all you're doing is feeding your child and putting clothes on his back, that's not raising your children. You're just keeping him up. You're just taking care of him. That's not raising him. That's not raising her. You're keeping him afloat, you know? And that's all I got to say, you guys. Yeah, comment in the comment section down below. Like, subscribe.